Okay, this is the 1,000 subscriber special that I've been talking about. So, um, I have been kind of back at it on the N scale. I want to show you some of my locomotives, Northern Pacific stuff that I've got set up here. So, we'll start with this set here. It has sound. It's Broadway limited. I think it's Paragon 4, so it's programmed to 6008, and then they're all 6008, so I go 9, 10, 11, and this will make sense in a second. These are the Microtrains FTs. They do not have sound. I just installed the decoders last night. They run okay. These actually run better. Got some derail spots. The couplers were hanging low, so I've been adjusting them. Still got some more break-in to do on them. They do run nice. There's just a little bit of derailments where these don't have it. So these I programmed to 6,000, 6,001, 6,002, and 6,003. So then I've got, and these are freight, by the way. Then I've got the Lowy 1954 passenger set. This is Broadway. These are Paragon 3s. And then they have sound. I've got them programmed to 6510, 6511, and 6512 for the B that's powered. All the Broadways you can get, basically they have 3 that are powered, 1 B that isn't. These 4 Microtrains are all powered. So those are programmed that way. Now, this is where I'm talking about getting into the kind of why I'm telling you about the programming. So these are the 1947 pine tree scheme. Lowell Smith had these made. This is the second run of them. And they have sound. And when Northern Pacific ran them, they only had an ABA, not 4. Most of the time they actually ran 3 on those 2. But anyway, it comes with an extra one. So if you notice, these is 6510 on both. And this is the A, and this is the C. If you can see that, probably not. There you go. So the B is not powered. On here, because I've got the same number, because in real life these were painted over to be from 1947 to 1954. So I just made them 6610 and 6611, so that doesn't confuse with these. Luckily, these are 2 different numbers. So I have one more F unit set, sort of. I have the Intermountain. I only have B chassis for them, like with power, and then the A's I don't. So I had Cato chassis under them before, and they didn't run right because they didn't sit right. Not that the Catos don't run good, but these are all my Northern Pacific F units, other than those ones that are in the shop. So I've got some boxcars on here, just some normal ones, some Gons. This little Shell chemical tank car is a model power. I've had it basically in my first round of stuff when I was a teenager, basically. I converted it to Microtrains. I probably bought it at a show or something for $5. It might have come with the couplers, I'm not sure. And then this blue Louisville and Nashville, that is my very first N-scale boxcar that I bought. That's an Atlas car, and I converted it. And so I've got it on here. This TH&B, I have 2 of them. I converted it. It would have been bought at the same time as the Shell. So this is the stuff I had when I was a teenager, and I switched to N from HO. And then this one is Atlas boxcar. It probably was CN. It probably was my dad's. So then I painted it. It's kind of thick, as you can see. And I deckled it with CDS, and that was my attempt at weathering. So that's TH&B. I really like the TH&B stuff. I had an SW9 from Lifelike. That was my first N-scale engine. So out here, these are all the currently released Lowell Smith passenger cars for the Pine Tree. So you might have seen these before, and I mean, I have all the passenger cars that they've ever made for that. The only things I want to get is the domes from Lowell Smith that'll be coming out. Then I have probably 2 complete sets of Lowy passenger sets. So Centralia, like Intermountain cars, and what else? I can't remember now, but I have 2 or 3 different manufacturers, and I also have 2 sets complete in this scheme from Microtrains of the heavyweights. I only have 1 set of those locos, so sometime I'd like to get a second set. They did release a second set of these in Paragon 4. So anyway, this is one in 1947. So I've got the baggage. These are really hard to find cars. They're all sold out. I've got a coach, another coach. The dining car, the funny thing about this is I was gonna buy it a second time and it just showed up in the mail. So I didn't, but that was a close one. And then this is the sleeper 3-pack, the Missoula, the Helena, and the Walla Walla. So as you can see, I don't have observation car. There's no more that are announced currently, but I've talked to them, and there will be a complete train at some point, so you can go and check the Lowell Smith website out. So next thing on the layout, this turntable does not run because the cable basically came apart. It's a little ribbon cable, so I gave it to my buddy when I saw him, and he's gonna try and repin it for me. He's good with really small electronics, so hopefully it's salvageable, because Kato does not sell that cable as far as I can see online separately. So perfectly good turntable otherwise. So I'd like to get that back running. And then I've got the track cleaned up again and reinstalled. I've got a little bit more to glue, but and I want to do some ballasting down here. This is glued up here. It's been that way for a while. This is kind of the scene that I've been working on. So I wasn't happy with this part of the lake. It's too low. Like, this is where my eye height is, so you can't really see. But I want to keep the pyramids, and I want to keep the beaver dam. So, and this lake turned out perfect. So basically what I decided to do was I built this up out of some blue styrofoam and hot glued it all in there, this shape. And then the plan is there'll be plaster of Paris coated on all of this, and this is actually built up quite a bit, quite a few plaster cloth layers. So I'm going to make it so that this is a lake, and then I'm going to make it so that this is a waterfall into this lake, and then raise this lake up. So I've got some more stuff that I want to add. I obviously have to clean it up before I do that. Some parts of it are okay. You see the lobster, but it definitely was, this is a scene that's bothering me. So if you can see, like this, I'm happy with the Egypt bookend that I plastered in there. The forest is all, I'm happy with that. I have to put a light in that haunted house, but this thing I'm happy with. Only thing I have to do is come cut this hot glue off, but this is all glued down, works awesome. So, sorry, back to this. What I'm gonna do is I've got some Atlas Flex track that I picked up, and there's gonna be a little mine train with, I think it's a mogul that I have. It's one of those Atlas micro ace ones. And I'm gonna have the water running over top, I think, or I'll put kind of a, basically that'll be the mine that it goes in, and then somehow I have to build this up so that you can't see this seam when this is sitting, and then I'm gonna make this mountain here more pointy, so up like that. So basically I kept the plaster that I like, and then the stuff that didn't turn out okay, it's getting covered with this lake. And it's kind of hard to see on camera, but it is kind of a dipped shape. And then on this side, it turned out really good. So I can have the waterfall kind of going down in a Z shape. So that's the plan for there. And then when I'm doing that, I'm going to put some more plaster Paris on top of here, on top of this white area, and then down here. So this was open Woodland Scenics risers. So I've got this track back installed. I've got this cut down so that this is sitting all level. All this is working bulletproof now. This has to be plaster of Paris painted. And then the plan is to have another big lake here. And then the 3D printed trestle will have to be taken out of there. That's kind of the last thing. Put this little bridge in here once these rocks are done. And then this scene I'll paint as a big lake, and then have some sort of beach or something here, because this is that Milwaukee Road yard. So this stuff here is all painted now. This was plastered, plaster cloth, plaster of Paris, and then painted and alcoholed so that it's got that kind of running thing. And I made a quick video showing how that's done. I've done it in multiple places. And then I picked up some of the archer trees from eBay. They're very expensive, but they're very nice, and they come in all different sizes. And this time I got these blue spruce ones, so you see the difference. There's a pine tree, and then there's supposed to be the spruce. So this is supposed to be Homestake Pass, and if you look, there are pictures that look just like this. And obviously you have to do the ballasting, but it runs perfectly. So down here I've got this painted. My daughter did all of this area. She's 8 years old, so I think she did a pretty good job. I've got a temporary little kind of shim in there because that was dipping down. I'll build that up with a little bit of proper cork later. And because this track here isn't glued, it's only glued up to there roughly. And then I was kind of trying something different. So I put a bunch of these, it's actually real wood, these little logs in there. I drilled holes with my drill, and then I shoved all these in here because the track goes over top, like overhang. I'm kind of on the fence about it. I've never done it before. So I think it's the ballast that's bothering me most. But basically, when you look at it from the bottom, it's kind of like as if the rock wouldn't have been wide enough. So kind of like a half trestle. And I think if I was to put some little logs like that attached, then it would be a little more believable. I just wanted to try something different. And then over here, it also, when that cork isn't there, it overhangs as well. So this part's fine, but it just overhangs just a little bit. So here I could add some plaster, not a big deal. And then I cut a hole in the coal power plant. This is the same power plant I had in HO when I was a teenager. And I've got the siding in the way that I like it. It comes right off of the yard. I made a little video about that. And then I've got this track back in place. And I got to figure out what I'm doing with the mines. This one and this one. This is where this plant was down here. It was too busy, and so this will still remain a coal open pit mine. I'll just have to cover that hole in. But that building was jammed in there, and you couldn't even see the smokestacks and everything. So I changed it. I'm happier with that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to kind of show what I've been up to. I got trains running on the 3rd level, so all of this is reinstalled, cleaned, feeders hooked back up, and just the top level is kind of a mess right now. So this is kind of working on other things and being busy at work. So yeah, I'll leave it at that, and there'll be some videos of this stuff running. If you haven't subscribed, I'm over 1,000. If you have, thanks for doing that, and stay tuned. There'll be some more content coming soon.